Tonight's segment is definitely D for Danny Robertson and the copyright claims war drama. Let's get into it.
All right, so like I did the other night, I'm going to bring up the chat. This is fair use commentary. In her description of this infringement, Danielle says the respondent is repeatedly using my copyrighted works, including Danny Montana Swords. Is that like the name of a song? And Danny Montana Instrumental without permission across YouTube and other social platforms. The use is continuous, but here's a word, obsessive, and done without any license or fair use basis. Danny Montana Swords, is that the name of a song, track, or is she talking about the actual picture of the swords? I can't really tell from this, just this first part. Okay. Using my copyrighted works, including, in quotes, Danny Montana Swords, Danny Montana Instrumental. So it could be. Let me look back to this sword. So I didn't get a match. No match, but I don't know. So she's claiming those Danny Montana swords and instrumental. Okay. Without her permission and using them continuously, but she's obsessive with it, according to Danielle. Are there any other respondents online service providers? No. Describe or description of harm suffered and relief sought. So Danielle puts in her claim that the respondent is monetizing my copyrighted content without authorization. Over 45 infringing videos have been removed from YouTube, Twitter, and other platforms for unauthorized use of my original works, despite being previously terminated. Here's the part that I want you to see. Despite being previously terminated from YouTube For multiple violations, the respondent continues to evade platform bans by creating new accounts. This ongoing infringement has caused financial harm, interfered with my ability to control and profit from my own content, and has contributed to a pattern of stalking and harassment. She was seeking $3,500 in statutory damages for willfully and repeated infringement, including the loss of revenue, reputational harm, and unauthorized exploitation of my intellectual property. So if we just go right to the conclusion, the CCB, August the 15th, order finding bad faith conduct and dismissing the claims. So that was the initial claim. All right. Order of intent to dismiss. There's no need for me to reread all of this. It's almost verbatim from last night or whenever I read, the previous one. Dismiss for unsuitability. Case doc number 3, order to show regarding bad faith conduct. That was on July 24th. Request to withdraw the claim was made by the claimant Danielle Robertson on August 5th. There was a note made here. The board has received the claimant's request to withdraw this claim, which includes an explanation for conduct described in the order to show cause. However, the board will proceed with the order to show cause hearing as scheduled on August 13, 2025 at 11 a.m. Eastern. The claimant may file any additional response to the order to show cause by August 7th, should they wish to do so. Either way, the claimant is still expected to appear at the hearing. And we've since learned that she ghosted the CCB. It's not me. Maybe she's talking about those swords in her merchandise. Could be. I don't know. I haven't looked through her merch or the swords on her AI character. Then there was this response to an order to show cause regarding bad faith. Let's look again and remind everyone this response. Okay. This time you can see it nice, big, and bold. Response to an order to show cause regarding bad faith conduct. Response to order to show cause and notice of voluntary withdrawal. The claimant Danielle Robertson wrote, I respectfully submit this response to the board's order to show cause and confirm that I am voluntarily withdrawing my claim at this time. The respondent provided me with an incorrect U.S. mailing address, which I relied upon when filing my claims. This is not the first instance in which respondent has supplied false or misleading contact information, which has hindered my ability to properly serve her and verify her residence. Danielle, how many times have you provided YouTube with incorrect U.S. mailing address? I actually have a receipt where My attorney at one time sent a cease and desist. We were the first to send one, okay, to Danielle Robertson. And it was returned undeliverable. Okay. She knew it was a wrong address. She didn't care that it was a wrong address. And then she followed up with a video to taunt and say how, stupid and all kinds of language I'm not going to repeat. But all you have to do is just take this statement here, and I can ask her questions. How many times, Danielle, have you provided me with an incorrect U.S. mailing address, which I relied upon when filing my claims to YouTube? There were 4. There were several. How many times have you responded in a counter notification and provided incorrect U.S. mailing addresses? Then she says, based on the information now available, it appears that the respondent resides in Canada. It was really blatant. She knew it. She made videos. There are witnesses. There's evidence. There's receipts. She can't deny it. She thought she was going to get away with it, and it was flagged. And now it appears, she says, that Maggie lived in Canada. Yes, we're going to talk about it again today because this is the second claim. Not 1, but 2. Twice she knew because she had to submit it separately. Twice she knew that Maggie was not a U.S. resident having a U.S. mailing address. Yes, they've been watching her. There's a lot of claims here, guys. Lots of dates, lots of things. Okay. I acknowledge, she says, that the Copyright Claims Board does not have jurisdiction over non-U.S. residents. She knew it then before she even wrote the statement. Should I say allegedly? Well, the board said bad faith conduct. Accordingly, I am voluntarily dismissing these claims without prejudice until such time as I am able to obtain a valid U.S. mailing address for the respondent. Now, wait a minute. You see, like I'm kind of reading it. So she thinks there's a U.S. mailing address, or she just went ahead and filled that in because, it sounds good. You played the CCB card. We talked about it. That's no longer an option for you, Danielle. Not with Maggie. Oh, that's right. That's right. Maggie played her video. Notice she didn't strike Maggie. I really haven't looked at anything today. Not really. But that's a good point. In other words, that was a brilliant move. A brilliant move, and then a really awful misstep on your part, Danielle. Danielle, who says, who gonna check me, boo? You know what? I have so many clips and things that she said. Um, I'll just keep my thoughts to myself. Maggie. Um, she knew. She showed all of the YouTube photos of Maggie's home and said she had someone in Canada that was going to put a camera outside of her home, even so she could monitor who arrives and leaves. I hope she found that video. She posted it. It was, I didn't see it. Yeah. So I haven't looked at all today at anything on YouTube. Not really. Yeah. Just, she did. There's her evidence. Baby Juju says that was funny when Maggie referenced her subscribers that maybe you didn't know that Canada was part of the United States. Oh, who's stalking? This filing is made in good faith to comply with the board's procedures and to make clear that my actions were not undertaken for any harassing or improper purpose. Now, all she would have to do is play that video, submit it, because it contradicts this very statement. Because contained within it, prior to her filing, was what? Something that would contradict her not harassing. She says not undertaken, harassing, or improper. Wow, she really didn't think she was going to be checked on this one. Respectfully, I request that the board accept this withdrawal and consider this response as addressing the concerns raised in the order to show cause. What date? August the 5th, she filed it. 2 days before she was due for a response. But what happened? The CCB, they ordered, a Zoom hearing. August 13th. So she's hoping at that point that that's going to be sufficient. She can follow everyone's case. Everybody but herself. She can show up and make sure that if they have a hearing and it's live, she's there with documentation. She has access. I call it backdoor, shortcuts to court documents that, some of them require, permission. But she can find those and she can show up and make a video right on time. So she didn't respond to Maggie's videos. What is this? No posts lately, no combat, nothing, cooked or checkmate. But she needs to know she's losing, says Rare Grooves. Yes, she can have proxies show up, but she can't. In her own case. That's because she doesn't want to expose her fraud and lies. She doesn't want it to be documented by the court with a Zoom camera and her voice. That's what all of this is about. Even when she complains about tagging, I mentioned, it's all about what she wants to do is preserve, this certain appearance that she wants people to see of her. She doesn't want to be affiliated with anything that shows she's been fraudulent. But this one, you can't slip this one by, Danielle. No, this one needs to be seen by the courts. It's documented. It shows bad faith behavior. It shows a lot of things. Mhm. So she didn't show up. No. So Maggie has two documents from the Copyrights Claim Board with Danielle Robertson's name as the claimant versus herself as the respondent. Documented, dated, a history, you know, a story inside of this that's real, that's factual, that she can't deny. No. She can call people bird brains and all kinds of things. It's not going to work. What is this? I'm looking at your comments. Yeah, she wants to uphold this fake persona until the very end. Even the letter gate has her prints all over it, Rare Groove says. Yeah, she is pressed about that letter. She is, because she's made numerous videos, trying to explain it, that it was ultimately created by AI and that whoever created it really doesn't matter. It's been tossed out, which is true. It was struck. So why is she still trying to defend, and say, oh, I didn't have anything to do with it or this or that? Lettergate part 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. I think it's because one of the things, there's so many people whose names were attached or thought of as sending this letter. And even though it's been removed or, it's been struck, so the contents of it doesn't appear to the public, it was seen. She made a copy of it right away and put her watermark on it. Yeah, she didn't miss that. She didn't miss it before the judge struck it. So how did she know it was there? Like within the same day. I mean, think about it. How did she know? I mean, she happens to appear at the exact time, her timing is, impeccable when it comes to dodging. Yes, it's impeccable when it comes to evasion. But the board saw that she was, evading. It is evident that the respondent is a resident of Canada, as claimant stated in federal court. This is glaring right there. Just that. Evident. She filed a lawsuit, then pulled it down within 10 days, withdrew it. She knew it. They read it. She didn't expect that the board was going to actually find that she had filed a claim against Magic. Wow. They've been doing some thorough, on this one. Well, look what you've got, you know. Look at this history. Just go in there and put in her name, Danielle Robertson. You'll get the docket, the date, the claim, the parties involved and the date. And then you can go in and, read all of it. The street address listed for the respondent in both claims, both, before the board is on Rue Street. Rue is a street. And the street name is, Maggie pronounced it. Well, she's in Canada and she speaks French, which does not resemble a typical United States street name. Rue, not at all. So she listed that. She didn't even think it through. Why? Because she didn't expect, in my opinion, she didn't expect the board to, respond. So CA is for California instead of Canada. That's not for Canada. California. So how did she get it confused? She didn't get it confused. She put it there knowing. I wonder why she put California. Is it because she wanted to be able to connect the filing, that she submitted or, filed in California? That she was hoping? I mean, what? Again, I haven't read even that filing of hers. You got too comfortable, and that's misrepresentation. Fraud upon the court involves a deliberate scheme to undermine the judicial process. That's what it was. Fraud. Couldn't be any clearer than that. A scheme, deliberate scheme to undermine the judicial process. So her little scheme to fill out, the drop downs to put in an address that she knew didn't exist in the United States for Maggie. It was a schema to undermine the judicial process. Fraud upon the court involves a deliberate scheme to undermine the judicial process. It's more than a simple falsehood in a legal case. It is a corruption of the legal system. Defrauding the court, Danielle. The CCB tribunal. And then add insult to injury when they gave her a time and a date, 11 o'clock, show up for, Zoom. She just disrespected them further, just ignored them. Fraud that's serious. Bad faith conduct. Fabricating a key piece of evidence. I'll just say it this way. Danielle, I think you have some experience with fabricating fake evidence and fake things. Yes. Wow. Look what we have here. With the very CCB, Danielle. Yes. Are you going to send that in to the court? She didn't strike magic. Now, she could be planning something. You know, like she says, she's always 4 steps, 5 steps ahead of everyone else. She wasn't in this case. Don't you think that she doesn't have somewhere in the back of her mind she has to, the light is just shining so brightly on her, you cannot deny it. It's right here in bold black and white. You could read it every day for 365 days if you wanted to. I think, based on her history, she's probably trying to come up with something. It's her mode of operandi. I mean, she cannot not respond in some way. She pulled what is the name of her little dog? Can someone tell me the name of her little dog? Her little Toto. Yeah. The CCB pulled the curtains, on this one, Danielle. Yeah, working behind, they just really showed you what was going on, showed other people. Yeah. No, I would not sit back and think, now this is this is my take. But I wouldn't sit back and say, "Oh, because I'm not in the United States, that she's not going to try to, turn that picture upside down. Do something." Yeah, so that she can, deflect and let everybody see it. No, I'm talking about something, not just say, no, taking some type of action. That's her MO. It is. Watch what I say. But for now, that's right. She said strike her, Danielle. She would have to file in federal court. She'd have to file a new, lawsuit in federal court. Another $405. And it's going to look like, think about it. All of these, she talks about contacts, all of these contacts that she has made with various courts, all of these submissions that she has made with different agencies, all of these, events that have her name everywhere. Danielle Robertson, she's using it in a legal way. Why is she continuing to use the name Danielle Robertson? Why didn't she use her pseudonym? Oh, that's a pseudonym, right? That's an alias, she says. We don't know that. I don't know that. That has not been disproven. I don't know. We don't know. Yeah, she's collecting information. She says she's documenting everything. Yeah, she's got all these people that she can use as a patsy and a proxy. That's right. There are others that could do something, try to skate through with something. They're working overtime. Working overtime. no sleep until she can find a way to appear that she won something against Maggie again. I'm telling you, when she obtained my photograph from the PPO hearing, she went to her YouTube in less than 15 hours. Okay. She created a video, talked about detail, posted the picture. How did she? I mean, right away. She doesn't miss a beat because she had to show that and defend the PPO petitioner to make it look like she won. It's because it was about Danielle by proxy. And it just made her feel such a way. She can't help herself. And it wasn't even her, right? It was a proxy, but it really was her through proxy. So it's by proxy that she will more than likely try to do something. So Maggie, just know that she's round the clock trying to come up with a scheme to make it look like she won, because she has to always win. Always. So she has to come up with something that she can say, look, I won. You didn't win this one, Danielle. You lost. The CCB said no. That means other people are involved. Other people are part of the schema. Other people. This is why she is hoping that the judge doesn't rule in my favor so that this case can move forward. Because there are other Jane Does. This is why her and John want this case dismissed. She's capable of creating documents that appear to be real. And she doesn't care if she has to send them to someone. She doesn't care. She doesn't care if she's caught or if it looks like it's her. She's going to deny it. She is. So, with someone like that, who she always says people are pathological liars, if this doesn't say pathological inside of it somewhere, I don't know what is pathetic. So if someone is that prone to lie, and that's what it is, then how can you trust anything? How can you trust her credibility? Is gone to zero here with the board. Her credibility. So I don't believe her. No. But people can believe, and over time you're going to learn to just don't get so comfortable, because she just sneaks up and does some. I'm telling you, she's very bold. All right, it's 12:30. We've gone our hour. Thank you to all my subscribers, loyal supporters, those of you who take the time to support and, come by. I appreciate that. But that will do it for me for tonight. Biggest bear hugs go out to all the grizzlies and the honey bears. Please Hit the like on your way out. Email me at unwinewithteddy@gmail.com. I did. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm Teddy. Good night.